Hey everybody, my name is Brandy Tilden. I live in Enterprise, Oregon with my husband and our 3 children. I currently work at Building Healthy Families as an early Head Start teacher under a child care partnership. I graduated from Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon in 2006 with a Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood and Elementary Education. My K-3 literacy experience, I would say, was a positive one. It resembled much like the video that we watched for lesson 1. I remember sitting around a table and doing shared reading activities and breaking off into groups and reading required texts and discussing them later. I would definitely not say again that this was a negative experience, that I was successful as a learner, as a reader, as a writer. I never had difficulties as I got older, and I always received good grades. But it wasn't until I was in college that I really reflected on what my early literacy experience was. My primary years were during the late 80s and the early 90s, during the whole language instruction era. At the time, I of course didn't know any different. But later, as a full-time student teacher in a kindergarten classroom, I was expected to teach phonics. And there are days where I feel like I learned just as much as those children did. I am a rules and reasons learner. I like to know the rules of things and the reasons for things, and I feel like this is probably why I always enjoyed math much more than English, because I didn't really understand the English language or the rules that went along with it. This is not to say that knowing the rules of the English language or the reasons for things being the way they are with certain words and certain sentence structures would be more effective on its standing alone on its own without whole word instruction. And this is, I believe, is where the importance of differentiating instruction is in teaching to all learning styles. When I was younger, I viewed myself as an average reader and writer, and I would still view myself as the same. I love to learn, but I know now that I would much rather learn through discussions, videos, hands-on instruction, as opposed to strictly reading. And as a writer, I know that I have plenty of room to improve, and I'm still learning the rules to the proper written English, or formal written English. I would say my early literacy experience shaped me as a teacher because today I work really hard to teach language to my children in various ways. My classroom serves children ages 0 through 3 years, and this is a very critical time for them. They're learning words and letters and sounds, beginning to understand that print has meaning, and they're learning how to phrase their sentences. I'm very careful in my instruction to assess the students and their development and track it constantly. And I make sure to plan my lessons and plan my instruction to reach their needs. After all, I am laying the groundwork for their future learning experiences with literacy and every other aspect. As a learner, I feel that my early literacy experience shaped me again in a very positive way. I know in the beginning of reading the readings for this course, I found myself very intrigued, and I was interested in what I was reading and very eager to learn. As I dive into the topics of this course, I know that I have a lot to learn, and therefore I'm extra attentive and excited to understand how I can better teach my students early literacy.